I checked the last time they played it was mid and it was a month ago, so it's been a while. But yeah, if they do the same thing, he went Orchid. There's definitely
Yeah.
been some item changes since then, since Prophet got played so much at the major. So we'll see if there's an adjustment there. But yeah, could be it could still be like offlane Nature's Prophet, Axe carry. Like they have so much
True.
flexibility in their draft. It gives them a nice little advantage here to try to trick Infamous a bit.
Yeah, definitely. But Spectre, regardless, great solution against Prophet, right? Hard to hide in the trees when you can press R and find him. And like the Medusa, Spectre really likes Alacrity, really likes having a Baden with the Aphotic Shield. Looks like a great Spectre setup.
I'm surprised there's no Winter Wyvern just yet, but I guess
Yeah.
there's too many supports, because that's what I think of when you said like shielding and healing Spectre. The Winter Wyvern's the more obvious solution because Cold Embrace is so fantastic right now, but it's okay against Prophet as well. It can be effective in lane among other things, but Spectre is a
Clear's
carry
nice.
that I'm not super confident. Like it's good, but it's not like it feels like it takes a while until Spectre actually becomes strong in team fights. Like I feel like whenever I watch T1 play Spectre often, the first big fight where you haunt, you jump around a couple times and you just run for your life. You like throw a dagger. You like don't actually help in the team fight at all. You just like
Rack
you're
up
like
assist gold.
yeah, it's like pocket sand. Like that's the kind of shit you're doing just to try to confuse them, and then you walk away and you go back to farming. So it takes until
Yeah.
like the Echo Saber or like Diffusal Manta or something till you're like actually a threat and able to kill heroes. And like the way that you win the game is just like not dying in team fights until you get 2 farmed. Like it just feels kind of mediocre.
Do you still go Blade Mail on this hero, or is that build kind of
Depends.
dead now?
It's
It
kind of
depends,
dead
okay.
because when you like the ideal was that you go clear stacks with it, but every time you clear stacks, you need like 2 salves to heal through it.
Exactly.
Or you need like Cold Embrace or a Warlock or somebody that has a trusty shovel that's been really working it for a while so that they can give you some free regen. Like those are the solutions you need. So that's why Blade Mail ends up being kind of bad. So that's why Echo Saber is kind of cool. It gives you more right click damage. It gives you 2.25 mana regen, so you can actually just dagger waves. Because that was the thing that kind of broke the hero as well, is that you couldn't spam dagger as much to clear creep waves and to get to Blade Mail as fast and accelerate after that. So it just like they're just kind of like nerfed the hero a little bit.
So offlaners here. What about like a Pango, some kind of chaotic team fight, like a Bat Rider, maybe something in that territory?
Yeah, they need a way to stun and initiate for Infamous other than like Tornado Cold Snap. Who sets up Marana Arrow? Literally nobody right now. So that's one big issue on the Infamous side. Obviously, as the team fight develops, it looks okay because like you can back up the Spectre or the Invoker with the Batten, and things like that. But they need something that could like potentially set up a Cataclysm. They need something that can set a Marana Arrow or set tempo at all. Like Invoker is going to have to be the guy that goes around. Him and Marana are going to have to do so much right now based on their draft. So they need another stunner that can actually
An
help with
off
this.
lane DK or something like that. Would that
could
be
work.
a? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, they go for Bloodseeker. It's not a
This is
stun, but
cool.
gives some control, gives you some silence, and is very active early.
I feel like when I was looking at EgoBoys' page, there was like a hero that they banned the most and never picked, and I think it was Bloodseeker, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was Infamous.
I am really worried for their lack of stun. It's a little bit alarming. We're gonna need to see some big arrows this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, they've been.
Yeah, but most likely gonna be my boy Michael doing those. He's gonna land every single arrow, no sweat, for sure. Nah.
14 Bloodseeker
Yikes.
bans on EgoBoys, no picks, so
14,
it
Wow.
snuck through.
So very
And-
open-ended here.
I think they picked Bloodseeker because they're gonna try to lane him potentially against Nature's Prophet or whoever else. Bloodseeker is like a decent laner in that like you get lots of regen, you generally stay alive, and you give your team like utility and some team fight, which can be effective. You can also buff up your team's attack speed. It's another possible solution to Egg, among other things. But
Whoa.
Naga gets picked, so does this push Prophet to a 5, I guess? And then Naga is carry, because then they know they can outlane like Bloodseeker or other heroes.
No,
Keel
because
takes
Kata's
the axe. Yeah, Rises takes the Naga. I think it might still be mid-profit. A lone profit incoming? They're thinking about it. They're keeping us in suspense here on EgoBoys.
I mean, Kara's the 5, so probably lean a 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
There it
lean
is.
a 4.
Mid-profit.
Prophet's gonna be mid. Okay.
Pardon me. So Alone knows this well. It is certainly a comfort pick for them. Thoughts about Naga overall, though? Confidence in this hero, especially against Spectre. Maybe that context is helpful as well.
It seems good, I would say, because you have an anti-team fight ultimate. Spectre is team fight. They have a lot of other team fight infamous. Somebody gets ruptured, you song buys a lot of time that you otherwise wouldn't have. Spectre's never going to buy BKB really, so I just feel like Naga is going to be able to like push creep waves, going to make Mirana feel less useful. I think it can work pretty good here. I think the matchup is good, but Infamous is a better team, so I assume they'll still crush and or win, but they have good lane solutions.
I think roles reversed, I would really favor Infamous to win this. It's like I like EgoBoys draft a little better, but I agree that I think Infamous is the slightly higher caliber team. Unless EgoBoys have really been in the hyperbolic time chamber over the last month. So I'm a little bit torn. I expect this to be a pretty bloody mid game, but I think I've got to favor EgoBoys just a little bit. I really like this Nature's Prophet mid. I think Alone is going to make a statement here in game number 1.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I just feel like once Axe gets Blink Dagger, he can set up ganks for Lina. He can come gank Naga's lane. Him and Phoenix can go around ganking. Prophet's going to show up to these rotations. Just feels like they have some decent options there.
Drakeel needs a good game too. Like they're really reliant on him being one of the initiators, getting the jumps on everyone, getting the calls off. So he's going to be the one for me to watch here over on EgoBoys.
All right. Well, I think it's time for me to step out and you two to step in and take the reins here. You may be graced with a pause, so be prepared to fill, but it looks clear so far. So with that said, let's jump into the game. Your casters, Moxxi and Purge.
All right. Well, feels good to be back over here in the South American region. And, it wouldn't be SA Dota if we had a pause, but, maybe they progressed beyond this because we're seeing right now no pauses here at the start here, Purge.
Well, this is the TI qualifiers, the big boy stuff. These guys are like, hey, I got TI qualifiers tomorrow. I better go to the bathroom before my game for once. First time ever. Plan ahead, eat before the draft, things like that.
I mean, that's NA usually. SA, it's because it's an actual infrastructure problem usually.
Is it though? Or did they just forget to go to the bathroom and they're using it as an excuse?
I mean, when all of them disconnect, unless they all ate something real bad for lunch, I'd assume that it's actually an infrastructure issue. But,
bodily
you don't know.
Their body's infrastructure isn't quite.
I like how we just loaded into the game and already Purge is talking about bowel movements and whatnot. Dude.
I did not say that.
You're heavily implying it. Who are you, Suns fan?
I'm talking about number 1, okay? That's all.
All right, we got that horn starting here, and looks like most of these runes probably not gonna go too contested.
Yeah, they zone them out. The level 1 for Infamous is a bit weak, right? Invokers, okay, they could land an arrow or whatever, but like they have Treants and they have Naga illusions. That alone is gonna make it a lot harder for Michael to play his game. Very likely he lands those on somebody that he does not care about as much. Nature's Prophet's go into his lane without regen, but so is Invoker. So neither player really cares that much about getting harassed. But in the side lanes, Abaddon's going to be able to stabilize Spectre decently well with shields and heals, of course, but maybe he will be the guy that gets pressure instead. And then back for the Radiant safe lane and Naga plus Phoenix. That feels like they should be semi-survivable against the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker does have a damage advantage right now, so maybe he'll last a little bit better for now, but I feel like after a couple levels, Naga's going to become pretty self-sufficient and not have to worry too much about getting ganked or losing the lane.
Well, first arrow, unfortunately, whiffs down here in the bottom lane, but does cause them to delta split a little bit. Also, the true 1v1 mid, when you don't have any sort of regen for the most part, just a couple fairy fires and whatnot, but do have a stack of tangos here over on Faker now, so.
Like how you call it the true 1v1, but both these guys have summons. Damn cowards, fight by yourself.
There's an asterisk next to the true 1v1, you just gotta look real closely to find it.
Tenno really wanted to break the salve on Spectre, but gets a little bit too far away. But well, there's decent call here. Didn't go for Battle Hunger. A little surprise here. A lot of damage on Ebba.
Yeah, he's got the Photic Shield, though, so they'll turn some of their attention back around. Drakeel running for his life now. Has to be very careful. As we said earlier, a lot of this is going to come down to Drakeel having himself a pretty decent lane. Nice double LSA, though, here in this top lane. So they'll continue to skirmish.
I love seeing like skill build differentiations like that where Axe is just like, surprise, I don't have the skill that everybody gets and now I get a kill. or super harass you in the lane, and then they're forced to get zoned as a result. Like Spectre's got less regen now, so.
Oh, he goes for another
one.
call over here. Tano doesn't have quite enough mana though for that LSA, or else that was going to be a dead Parker, I think. But
he could have wanded for it, but Spectre's got 6 stick and a Fairy Fire, so he probably would have been fine. And it would have burned Tano's chances of getting a swing later. Like you do want to save these magic stick charges for really pivotal moments because there's a better chance of surviving. So.
I like how alone. That's always the meme, right? Like for those of you who are not super familiar with the SA region, alone the meme has been, I think before it used to be 15 years, by the way, but he is now of course 16 years old. So he's a little bit older. Do get the LSA over here on the side, but Tano's gonna be careful here. This is a very tanky Abaddon. He's getting clicked down pretty hard. Drops that Photic Shield on himself, just trying to chase after Tano. Tano, he's got the Salve. He's gonna try. Immediately gets canceled out. It looks like Excel is happy with just going and snapping up the rune here. Isn't gonna go for that kill.
That was so worth. I mean, he just broke a Salve. Almost like 20%, 30% in. A lot of damage to Spectre.
The spins.
Needs another one. Doesn't get it.
Not quite enough damage. A lot of action here in this top lane, though.
It really is. I mean, this is the benefit of Abba as a support, though. He's got 325 move speed. Those damn horse creatures, man, they have so much advantage, right? He's just way faster than Lina, so he just gets to run him down.
Kale goes in for the call. Let's get silence. The follow-up here, though, from Tano. He's looking to try to drop the LSA, but he's a little bit too late. So it's just going to throw out a casual couple clicks. And that's it. The fortification come out, though.
Yeah, interesting. Might have been for mid. I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Maybe? They're trading quite a bit, though. One's sitting fairly low here, Faker. Doing the best he can. And we can see this Mirana making a rotation. Michael's looking for that arrow, if possible. In fact, he goes. Oh, no. And Spidey Sense was indeed tingling. Still manages to get himself a creep as he's going to have to teleport out. And he knows that he's perfectly safe to do it now.
That was kind of cool. Like the Invoker was using Cold Snap just to delay him going back to Fountain, and maybe he inferred that meant that Mirana was coming over or something like that. Because I don't. He might have seen Mirana go high ground, perhaps, but definitely cool to see that game sense.
Another call here in the top lane, but of course A was going after Tano. Goes in for the LSA. Another one whiffed, unfortunately. So looks like this Abaddon is going to be perfectly fine. The casual just Sage's mask only on the Abaddon.
It's really good.
Ooh, the call, though. This is looking like a dead Parker. Can they get enough damage off? They've got the Fairy Fire. Faker, though, getting the kill over on Alone in the mid lane during all of this.
There was like a decent chance of one spin there, and they just didn't get it, unfortunately. Looks like Cell's gonna get the courier as well. Just looking good for them.
I think he's gonna be careful.
Still
We're just missing these LSAs.
Oh, man.
Like the fourth one he's missed. That feels so bad.
The benefit of Lina is that you get Fiery Soul, a bunch of attack speed, and you are landing stuns and getting a lot of right clicks afterwards. And he has been consistently a little out of position, missing his stuns, and therefore not getting value out of his hero. It's costing them a lot. And the reason they didn't get Battle Hunger, obviously, which I forgot about at the time, is that there's an Abaddon. He just would remove it, so they're forced to go this like call spin build, which is fine, but they need to get kills.
I mean, speaking of kills, it looks like Kara is gonna be able to get cleaned up here by Michael and Faker, and we're starting to see that Invoker being very active early on, like we talked about here.
Yeah, it's going the build that's most expected. 2 Null Talismans with the Urn. Gives you a lot of mana regen, a decent amount of right click, and you can use it with Cold Snap to be more effective at getting kills. So pretty standard build. It's good that he's moving around. His last hits are going to suffer a little bit as a result, but you know, if you're making map pressure, that's ultimately better. See which build he goes afterwards. Spirit Vessel, Midas, something else. There might be some variety, but considering the game circumstance, I assume they're aiming late, but maybe he feels that getting a faster Spirit Vessel would be better to help guarantee kills on like Axe or other heroes he goes for.
I mean, this
comes first TP top.
Yeah, Alone making his way up. They've got their eyes over here on the Spectre, but it looks like instead they're just going to try to go for an early tower push. Do you manage to finally land that LSA over here on Excel? Get the trees down, couple of clicks here, and they do find themselves a kill. So a very value rotation here to the top lane as now Spectre feeling very pressured. Drakil just kind of grabbing these creeps off to the side. There's no place for Parker to be that's safe right now. He's got to be so careful. Rotation's
comes
coming
Invoker.
out now. They're smoked up. Can they get anything off this? Look at Tano. He's already walking away. They drop a ward so they can keep some vision. And they have to think something is up, right? Because Parker's playing very aggressively, Tano. There it is. The follow-up with the cold snap. Get a couple of these clicks off. LSA comes through, but it doesn't matter. KXY will get the kill.
Yeah, very valid rotation here. Nature's Prophet's still hanging out, though.
So is Drakeel. Not sure what they're planning on doing here.
He wants to fight, I guess.
He's walking out. He's walking right up here, just chasing after Parker. Looking to see. No, follow. Nice tornado. Gets the call off. Tries to drag them back a little bit. Alone is here, of course. Couple spins coming out now from the axis. They go and they drop the trees, trying to push them away.
the
Drakeel
tower.
taking so much damage, but another teleport comes out here. Mariano's here. The dunk comes out. They get the kill on
Oh,
Parker,
arrow.
but they're gonna end up losing a couple here for their just aggression in this top lane.
I mean, you got the tower. The net worth is even, but it feels a little weird to force that so hard. I mean, that's your mid player. You've now died twice. Instead, you haven't been farming mid in like a couple minutes here. So, and now Lena dies
Now they get
again.
Tano.
That's the rupture rotation here, I guess. He was already top. Feels very wrong to get ruptured in that circumstance, I suppose, after winning the lane. I mean, on the upside, they are forcing Spectre to not really have a lane anymore. And that's one benefit of taking the tower really fast, because he's not the best jungler, but he's just going to gank.
The Han to the mid lane. Rises, takes a bit of damage, but the follow-up is here. Drakeel teleporting right on in. A will continue to just heal up Parker.
I mean, it just feels inadequate for Axe to try to get these ganks off. I mean, this is like one of those moments where you kind of remember that Battle Hunger is actually pretty good for giving you movement speed. 12%, that's a little bit less than what Boots used to give when they gave movement speed. So he's losing like, you know, 30, 40 movement speed as he's walking into initiate. He just doesn't have that now, and it just makes all of his approaches look so clumsy and slow. So until he gets Blink Dagger, he just doesn't feel that great for initiation just yet. And while he's going to be able to farm top or whatever, I don't know, just that the tower being forced, it did open the map a bit, but it just feels like they're getting outmaneuvered.
Good lineup here. The cold snap, follow up with the arrow, and that is a dead Phoenix here in the mid lane. And potentially some tower pressure that they can put down over on Infamous. Ooh,
It's always
Mirana.
really cool to
He's
see
alone.
people use Tornado like that to get last hits, or to get to land arrows. It's not easy to do because the lift duration is variable. So
Definitely good synergy, and you can tell that they've been practicing.
yeah, huge pickup for Spectre. Grabs Chip Vest. It's gonna stabilize his laning stage a lot and help him jungle. Ooh, they spot Invoker's TP to the bot lane. This server ward end lane is gonna see it, so instantly Nature's Prophet's gonna go pressure mid instead. Suckers, they leave the lane. Now they know to go, and now they're gonna have to run all the way back mid again. In fact, Invoker being scouted by the Treants again. Well, that said, not much damage dealt. Maybe they'll rupture here, but
I go for the rupture over onto Drakeel. Just want to push him back a little bit because Faker is on his way over. Gripped up a little tightly. Here they go. They drop the blood right. Michael looking for an opening. The Sunray coming through, trying to keep Drakeel alive a little bit longer here. The Starstorm coming out. Not quite enough damage. Mariano, though, is a race car over here on the side as they do start to drop a bit low over on the side here of EgoBoys.
everybody on Ego just collapsing around the mid to try to cover each other. And while Rupture was used, it just feels a little inefficient to me so far. Phoenix isn't quite 6 yet either, so that definitely could have gone bad potentially, but they are throwing Treants down the mid lane. The tower is getting a bit low. Their tower's relatively tanky, and this does kind of fit what we were talking about in the draft, that if they do get Blink Dagger on Axe at a decent time, and they've killed the enemy safe lane and the enemy mid tower, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to find these pickoffs and these ganks as they move into the mid game. Pressure, Spectre, things like that, all going to be really effective if they can do it.
Smoke coming out now from Infamous. They're still just trying to make space here. Of course, the Spectre having a difficult time during lane. They'll walk directly into Tano. Smoke will pop, but they're going to venture back around here. They know that Drakeel is here. Can they land anything here, though? They go for the MP, the cold snap. Try to chase him out here. Wrath of Nature calls through. Leap forward here from Michael, but perhaps I've gone too far because Drakeel, he gets the call up. They should be able to get the kill over on the Abaddon. And now Faker, oh no, Faker, he has got to run. A beautiful tornado will keep him alive a little bit longer, but the song comes out from Rises. He is not letting you out of his sights. He's basically rickrolling Faker here as it goes with the song, and they'll follow up with enough damage to get the kill.
Another misstun. Moxxi doesn't look good. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't matter.
I like
They
how
got
we were
him
railing
anyways.
on Michael to land all of these arrows, and we've been watching Tano just miss all of the LSAs, unfortunately.
I mean, they did buff Light Strike, right? It's a lot easier to land it than it used to be. So, you know, but hey, against fast heroes, it's a little harder. 2K advantage now for the Radiant team, for Ego. That's pretty solid. Not bad at the moment, but they got to put the pressure into Spectre. Again, the way that Spectre wins games is basically like helping in team fights a little bit, always farming, and ideally not dying, and just slowly gaining advantage until like late game your items just mean more because of dispersion, reflecting 22% of all damage you take. It just gives you a lot more benefit. So see if they can catch Tano.
The setup is here, and there's plenty of heroes. No mana left, sitting very, very low. Cold Snap comes out. It's going to be Mariano who gets the final hit here.
That was a big kill, because I gave him 2 urn charges, and they have the Spirit Vessel coming out. He didn't have the urn charges before. That's why that kill was slightly difficult. But now with this power against heroes like Axe, it's going to offset the healing that Phoenix is going to provide. Just a lot harder for them to defend this tower now. But 3k gold advantage is looking decent. Net worth is not bad. And Naga hasn't been pressured yet.
Teleporting in. The car was going for the egg, but he's just a little bit too far out of position. They'll take down the egg. It was a good call, but they need to get some sort of follow-up as now Drakeel forced to run away. They have so much damage here. They go in for the haunt as well. Now as Parker joining into the fight, chasing after Tano. Will just continue to chase him down, but you've got Mariano the race car here. Oh, he needs to hit one more time. There you go. That's the double kill. Now here for Papita, and alone. Oh dear, he is definitely alone over by his tier 2 tower, and he's just gonna get chased down by the Bloodseeker. Naga joining in the fight now. They need to be careful. They're going in one by one. Definitely turn this around and try to take this Naga out, but they're focused on the objectives now over on the side of Infamous.
Yeah, what they tried to do there was really effective, but they just executed it a bit poorly. Phoenix dove in a little bit too early. The TP for Axe took longer than expected, I think. And he did get Blink at this exact moment, so they're hitting a really nice timing here, and his call was pretty good, but they needed it to come out like the moment that the egg drops, because level 1 egg is what, 5 hits, 6 hits? It is not a lot. And there being 4 heroes there, unless they all clump up on it, your Axe call isn't going to feel that magical. Maybe if they can like lean a stun, then Axe call, then it's fine, but that was just a little bit poorly timed, and as a result, a lot of net worth advantages lost now. Not only 1k for the Radiant squad, and they lost their mid-tier 1, so it loses them some advantage for being able to TP onto the map and go get kills as rapidly.
That was very value. KXY managing to just run into the smoke gank coming out from Drakeel and the Lina. They dust a little bit too late as well. So that's a wasted smoke over on the side of EgoBoys, and a very happy Faker running his way top now that he knows what those heroes are.
Yeah, it's a good idea. They're going to move towards where Phoenix is. Got
Gotta.
Egg and 10.
Yep, it's gonna try to just Icarus dive away, but the Cold Snap is, of course, coming in hot here, followed up with the Tornado. He's trying to sidestep. The song gets come out, but, ooh, it doesn't even matter. Song for what? And they can't even decide if they want to go back in right now. They decide that it's just time to leave. They rotated the rest of their team up there. Yikes.
They just saw something beautiful. They all fell asleep, and then when they woke up, the Phoenix was just mysteriously dead. It was pretty cool. Got the nice cleanup. Ooh, alone finishing his Orchid here. Can he solo kill him?
Faker's thinking about it. Look at him. Creeping forward.
Michael's coming. He's just gonna follow him creepily.
Look at, he's very creepy indeed. There it is, the Spirit Charge, followed up with the MP. The arrow comes in hot from Michael, and that's going to be a dead alone. Right when he got that Orchid timing too. Feels bad.
And this is where like team coordination is just so important. Like if your ally just doesn't spot that or isn't playing in the right area of the map, like you just don't get those kills. But now that he's gotten it, it just helps his team so much. Here's dive top though.
Oh, this is very nice coming out from EgoBoys as they find the kill on Parker. Like they're gonna be able to find the kill on the Baden as well. Egg goes off, and just like that, a nice gank turning into a tower push.
That one worked really good. Perfectly executed there. Yeah, knowing 2 heroes are bottom, they go dive the top. That would have been even scarier for them if Prophet gets to show up with Orchid as well. But for now, they'll continue pressuring. That's Glyph Pop. This is the best time to go try to take that tier 2 and get a really early outpost if you can.
Here's the double damage over on Alone. Slow open up with the Cold Snap. Nice arrow again coming in hot, but they follow up with a call. It's just not enough though. They're gonna end up losing Alone. Followed up with a nice haunt coming through here. Another Tornado Rises will just fall. As the chase is on over after Faker, they just can't quite manage to grab him. Drakeel tries to get out. He's not going to be able to. They have way too much damage. Kara falling already. The lone survivor of that fight is going to be the Lina, who manages to teleport home.
That's the setup for the Invoker. It's Cold Snap and Spirit Vessel. it's plenty good enough for Mirana to land arrows. Michael's just nailing these things, and they're taking out the enemy mid player consistently with just cold snap and spirit vessel and one arrow, and maybe they throw like a blood right or something else onto him. But we haven't really felt his impact in these fights because he keeps just getting chain disabled and bursts it down until he gets like a force staff or a BKB. He's gonna have a lot of trouble.
Look at Faker. He's just everywhere all the time, hunting someone. This is what I like to see coming out from KXY. And I'm wondering if they drafted themselves into a corner over here on EgoBoys, because whenever I see Alone doing particularly well, he is on something that can hunt, something that can, you know, be able to really pop off Snowball. I think his Storm Spirit is probably one of my favorite heroes that he plays that comes to mind. But again, he is young, as stated on his name, 69 years, or 16 years rather. He's got some technique and map movements that he needs to probably work on a little bit more, but I would prefer to see him on something that's a little bit more aggressive, because with the Prophet, it can be aggressive, but it's not necessarily set up to be that way, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it can be if you do well in the early mid game. They won their laning stage, basically. They got gold advantage there. But then there was the fight mid that went a little bit poorly. He got ganked and pressured a couple times. Those are the things that have set him back and prevented him from playing really aggressive. How this like lineup that looked really cool on paper with like Axe Call and to disable and team fight, it just hasn't really felt effective because they're not winning in net worth anymore. And as Infamous gets more tanky, this becomes harder and harder and harder as the game continues. So they're going to try to take the tier 2 really early. They're putting some good damage into it. It does look like Infamous is not going to defend it. Or at least they're going to get there late, but it's looking dead.
Is indeed. Down goes the tower, and they're just hoping maybe to grab some sort of stragglers that are left behind, but you can see already Ego hiding in the tree lines. They don't want to take this fight unless it's a nice, quick little pick off here.
Yeah, it's definitely got there a little bit too late for that one, and therefore probably shouldn't have tried. Unless you could get a pick off, then it's worth it, obviously, but Ego now playing in their jungle. The Naga Siren hasn't really been deferred at all, or deterred, sorry, from collecting net worth. She's sitting 1,500 ahead of Spectre, so a pretty good place with the Fusel and Manta. The enemy hero's got to be careful when she's in team points.
Moonlight Shadow and the smoke. They'll find themselves Kara first and foremost, and Kara's just immediately exploded. That is one dead Phoenix. So they'll drop some vision. They can see Ryze is over here, immediately using the Rupture. They'll go for the song. They've got the Atos. Look at this, though. Look at the way that they're dancing around the side. Drakeel immediately getting spotted out. Nice LSA coming up from Tano. Manages to land that one, but the arrow comes in. The Haunt is out as well. They should be able to take down Drakeel here. Yes, he will. He's going to burn to death as the Abaddon will fall. And now Tano running for his life. Can't even catch a break between the tier 2s and the tier 3s. Just gets run down. So it's starting to look like a massacre.
Yeah, it kind of looked like they were going to try for the Naga Siren, but then they caught Axe. They used all their spells on him, landed a nice short-range arrow. And all the worry that we had about setting up arrow, now he's got Yule Scepter, so 3-0-13 right now on Michael. He's certainly been the impactful hero this game. He like helped to win mid. He's getting kills in side lanes. He's consistently solidifying their gold advantage now. 3K advantage for Infamous.
I've always enjoyed watching Michael. He's a very active 4. He likes to move around a lot, likes to make things happen, which I think fits this patch's playstyle very, very well.
It does, yeah. Really helps. The Mirana's on everyone's pub team zone. Not good, of course. Love to have Mirana's this effective, but
maybe you gotta talk to them nicer there, friend. Arrow with the Atos. Setup is just so beautiful. Cool guys don't look at Explosions Purge, they just walk away. Lots of Ego now trying to catch up.
I'll just buff up their motions and be like, I know you're gonna hit this arrow, sweetie. Let it fly, and then they're gonna whiff it again. And it's not.
Okay,
really
all right, no. If you don't believe in them, of course they're not gonna land it. You gotta pump them. You gotta be like, dude, you got this. Look at this Mirana. She's gonna be amazing. My team is so good. And you know what? It really helps. Oh God, look at the damage coming out from these Naga illusions.
Yeah, it's scary to be a bat in here for sure. Doesn't have any armor built in here, so. That's with the medallion from his ally, trying to keep him alive. Went for the Aether Lens, kind of interesting, but cast range on Aphotic and Mist Coil are very short these days, so if you're just trying to buff up your allies, it's a nice way to be able to sit a bit farther back. Don't have to worry about getting caught yourself as much. Always on the hunt. Invoker looking again, going for a Force Staff after the Spirit Vessel. Now going to pick up a Solar Crest afterwards, so kind of a cool build. Sunstrike in somewhere. Go check in Roche.
Ooh, they're hunting. Yeah, the hunter was becoming the hunted there for half a second, but Faker hiding over in the tree line does spot out the rest of the team over here. Has to be careful. They drop a sentry as well, just in case he decides to get too cheeky, a little too greedy perhaps. And look at this. He considers it. Skirting right around the side here.
I mean, what he accomplished just there was really good, though. He pressured a creep wave just a little bit, and then got a bunch of heroes to rotate to pressure him, or to try to kill him.
Definitely feels like the map's getting a bit smaller here for this Naga. She's farming pretty well considering she's ahead of the Spectre, but it's just her right now who is sitting very top side, so it's a bit scary.
It's fine, just
Hunt.
because. So he might.
They
be
see him.
Ganked.
They know,
Oh,
they
Manta.
can see him, but they have the setup. Look at this, trying to get to position, trying to use those illusions too to try to block any sort of arrow, anything coming in hot, but they do have the Atos down. The Haunt comes in, they'll be able to get the kill. They're chasing after Kara over here. And Kara, this is not looking good for it. Does have, of course, the egg, but there's nothing to protect it, so he is going to fall in the tower. Black is gonna be able to get themselves a courier kill, but that is it from that engagement. And now egg is down.
Egg's down. They just use Glyph. Now Infamous can push and possibly take a tier 2 of their own. Just pressuring the map so well, making Naga look like a not very strong carry, at least in the moment, because they're not letting their opponents use her in the correct way. They're not letting her offset these like big overarching team fights. They're finding skirmishes. They're making their opponents run around the map and waste a lot of time in that. And in the meantime, Spectre's farming just as fast as Naga with the Radiance. Radiance and Manta now. He's queuing up a Butterfly, which is going to make him basically invulnerable against Prophet, against Naga Sirens. So he's going for a slightly different item build than we normally see, but I'm sure he'll go like Butterfly into Scotty, and that's like truly where there's not much they can do anymore. Do not want to play these like ranged cores when the enemy core can easily buy Scotty and slow you and reduce your heal.
They're keeping their eyes over in that Roche pit. They've dropped one of the Naga illusions, and they're sending over some Forge Spirits as well. So we can tell what the next big objective is going to be for both of these teams.
Which is definitely the big one, but in some ways it's just fine for Infamous to leave it there. If they don't take it, or try to take it, or force a fight around it, they don't have to worry about Song once again. So they're just going to keep playing the game that their heroes are good at. They're looking for little skirmishes. They're waiting until they get nice network advantages or pickoffs, and then they'll take their team fights. Because fighting into Call and Egg and Song, it all just sounds really messy. Easy to make mistakes. Lose heroes to lose advantage. They catch Axe though.
I managed to go and find Drakeel here, and he is, of course, one of the main initiators, so they can't afford to lose him. But it looks like they're just going to have to bail as they get plenty of damage, and Drakeel will fall.
It was so close.
People sitting a little bit low. Mariano looking to see if anyone else is left behind here. It's a Naga Siren. They'll go. They'll throw out the net. They'll follow up the nice apodic shield here coming out from the Abad. Does manage to get hit here by Tanas Goes. He pops his ultimate. Turns back around. The Sunstrike over here onto Carr is going to be able to swoop out, but there's going to be the cold snap. Egg is in perfect position this time around. This egg is definitely going to pop. But do they have enough damage as they are managing to just walk away? So maybe they can do this round. Maybe they can get the kill on Excel because he does tick down to that Sunray as Michael just leaps forward over here. They do have the Alacrity. The Haunt comes out alone. He pops the BKB. They're just going to keep trading back and forth around. They managed to take down Carr. Rise is sitting so very low. He doesn't have the Song to burn. Doesn't have anything to protect him as he eventually does go down. Tunnel running for his life, and they're just chasing after. Look at this race car of a Bloodseeker over here. Do they have the vision? They try to go and force step through those trees, and he's going to make it out alive. But that fight started off so nicely for the side of it. Maybe not start, but the middle section of it was looking really good with the Song Egg. But
it looked good. Like they were going to turn off the Song. The egg was going to explode. Everything was going to go well. But the sound sounded a little funky to me. I thought that they turned it off at the right time, but then it was like, oh, there's still like 2 seconds left. And then the egg just didn't stun anybody, nor did it do damage. So while it saved Phoenix's life, they didn't get this like stun, setup, disable, turnaround thing that they were looking for. So as a result, Infamous just kind of runs them down afterwards with their superior chase. And now with Rostein, that's going to give Spectre's level 20 talent. It's going to give them an Aegis on the hero that is just going to slowly snowball. See what he does with it.
oh dear, do they have anything to cancel out this TP? Yes, they do. They've got an Atos, they've got a Tornado, they have an arrow, every everything in the kitchen sink thrown at Drakeel. Kara just came back to life here, is ticking down, is trying desperately to stay alive long enough. Mariana chasing after him, does get orchided, placed over into those trees, is going to be able to go cut himself out. As over on the back lines, though, Kara's still ticking down to the spirit. So he still goes down. They find Faker, though, and they're able to use a big old Laguna Blade to take him out. It's an 8 times kill streak ended. So
very nice that it went on Prophet at least. But I mean, ultimately,
they needed
still
something.
They needed something bad. They're 8K behind now. Spectre ended up going for the Spectral Dagger slow talent, which is something that people... It's been in the game for a very long time, but I haven't seen pros ever take it until recently, where they're just justifying... There's a lot of mobility going on with heroes these days, and Spectre having this extra 14% movement speed for him and less speed for his opponents makes it so much easier for him to get these kills, especially when you get Scotty as well. The slow is about to be overwhelming. So, you know, basically, Ego needs to hit a timing in the next, like, 5 seconds before Spectre farms 300 gold, because once this hits, they're going to have a bad time.
And for the first time ever, yes.
Game's over.
And just like that.
That's what happens. You let them farm that large camp. Idiots. You got to gank them right there. It's the only way to win.
Well, darn. Oh, Drakeel getting spotted out again. Chase is on. They put the Aphotic Shield down. Just managed to get the call out. There's going to be another net over here onto Mariana, but they take down Drakeel. And now they have to just run away from this egg, although are they going to be able to do it in time? It's just about to pop.
Oh my
no,
God.
It's still going to fall. And now alone, he popped the BKB, but it's not saving all of the physical damage that is coming out now from the side of Infamous. And they're looking for more here. Sunstrike over onto Tana. Does have a Yules, though. Buys a little bit more time. As it's going to be a buyback now coming out from Phoenix. Have to be a little bit careful here with this Abaddon. The Scepter, but that's just perfect here for that Laguna Blade to come in hot and take out the Abaddon.
The only reason that Infamous doesn't completely crush that fight is because Spectre goes into that engagement without mana. And he actually might lose Age there. He will.
Yeah, he loses it. He's been hanging around. He was hoping that Faker get there maybe a little bit faster. Kara did buy back, though. Have to be careful. Arrow connecting over on the tail feather. That's going to be a dead Kara. And now Rises is ruptured. Song will come out. Try to turn this around here, perhaps? No, I think they want to just run. They're not looking to take this engagement over on the side of EgoBoys.
It's just so hard for them to fight at this point. If they get a good initiation on Infamous, or even just like a mediocre initiation, their net worth is going to carry them into these engagements. So with having Scotty now, it's just so tough to fight. And you know, we haven't seen a level 2 egg yet, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that, but that was like Spectre solo killing an egg. Like Phoenix is an inch away basically from level 12. Getting massive 8 hits instead of 6 would be a big difference here. Maybe give them some teamfight options, but because Infamous just dodged these like massive engagements and got enough ganks off to slow down EgoBoys, just made their game really difficult, even though they had advantage before. But this is what happens when you play against players that have really good game sense. They just they don't let you play your draft the way that you need to win.
Money to burn.
I also think it's hilarious that entire fight took place between the tier 2 and the tier 3 towers for the most part. Infamous, just a reminder, you do actually have to take down buildings. Alone just trying to be cheeky over here. Looking like he was going to show up and... Yeah.
They eventually have
but
to
I
take
mean,
those buildings. They're fine.
That was a long engagement between the tier 2 and the tier 3.
It really was, yeah. A lot of fighting back and forth for sure. The fun thing about team fights is when both teams have counterplay, basically, for stuff that happens. It makes it cool. Makes the mind games deeper. Almost a Vlad's on Abaddon. Just kind of curious what item he would go for, but that'll give armor, lifesteal to both Bloodseeker as well as Spectre. Ooh, Bloodseeker picks up an axe. Very cool. Haven't seen anyone buy this in a while, but if you're playing like a utility 3 Bloodseeker, it's pretty helpful. He can get the Rupture cast range talent at 20 and basically just rupture important heroes. Either Nature's Prophet or Axe or Naga. If he ruptures 2 of those 3 heroes, it just kind of feels like Doom. It prevents them from moving, and because their heroes already have like overwhelming chase down, it means that it's just going to be Spectre on top of you, and you're going to have to try to kill Spectre before he kills you in melee range while ruptured. Good luck.
That is a tall order. You can see that Faker was trying to just continuously hunt, trying to get any information they can. And I love the way that they play him, the Invoker rather, just using him as a tool to be able to find out more information. Generally, you know, we think of the Mirana using like Moonlight Shadow, trying to get that information that way, but they've been using the Invoker. Leap forward here coming out from Michael. Does have the Ag Scepter too, by the way. I don't know if we've mentioned that. But this is looking like a dead Kara here. Bye bye, birdie.
Considering how good his game has been going, I'm not surprised at all to see him have an X-Scepter at this point. Good for him. So everything looking so good for Infamous. They've got Haunt ready to go, so Spectre can be like max efficiency farming. Hypothetically, EgoBoys could do like a gank to go kill Spectre where she is, rather than trying to engage on the other heroes. Then they wouldn't have to take a 5v5, but see if they get the right Naga Siren here.
Oh, they see Rise as they want this Naga Siren immediately. Siren Storm followed up with a little bit of an arrow. The call coming out though from Drakeel, but they have the Hunt. Rises, he's just taking way too much damage. He can't do anything, can't even get the song off as Drakeel now left alone with all of these heroes. The Haunt comes out again here. They're looking, they're hunting for more, but
I started moving my camera around. I was like, all right, who's left? And then there was just literally nobody was left. Everyone was already dead. They all died so fast in that fight. It was incredible. They casted some of their spells, but like the amount of damage that Infamous has right now is just way too much.
the control coming out of them for that Naga too was really, really impressive because she had all of her illusions around her too. And I'm like, how are they going to initiate on this Naga Siren so she can't get the song off? I thought that was very well done coming out from Infamous. And unfortunately for EgoBoys, they're just kind of struggling now. They can't quite find the initiation, and if they do, they just don't have the damage, it feels, as well. Alone has not even had a game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing his best to like safely split push side lanes and stuff, which is fine, but
Best he can do, but I don't know about this Drakeel. Just walks right in here. They've got the Sunray, but they have so much damage. Just delivered him a meal on wheels.
How did his body get to right next to his tier 2? That feels dangerous. I mean, obviously we see both teams. Maybe he expected like that the Infamous was just tricking them, that they weren't actually there. They were moving somewhere else instead, but felt a little greedy already.
Yeah, you saw the Sorry come out. There it is. Cataclysm's online.
Oh, we got him. He's gonna force BKB now.
And he's found Alone here. Does he have enough damage to go and get these clicks off? It's looking pretty darn good. Alone.
Oh my god.
He's trying. Oh my gosh. It is a
my god.
1v1, and Baker says go back to school, kid.
He interrupts his TP with the tornado, and then his opponent didn't have a teleport back because he used teleport to get there in the first place. So then he BKBs and has to fight him, and then realizes, oh shit, I'm gonna lose. And then just Invoker gets him right when the BKB ends. But that was a sick pick off. He used Cataclysm just to scout where the Invoker or where the Prophet is.
All right, the pressure is on here on this tower. Go, they'll pop the pipe. Yule's off over here on lane. Does have her own Yules, but she's already stunned up too hard, so she's not going to survive this at all. Mariana finds a kill. And the Sunray is all Kara can really do to just kind of try to push them back at all. It's not looking great here. The mana's all gone. They'll go and drop. Oh, the arrow not going to be able to quite land. Drakeel, he can make this initiation, but I'm just concerned that they don't have the damage. Look at this coming out from the side of Infamous. They don't care. It was a really nice pull, but call for what? As now the Rupture over on the side on Rises. Rise held into place, followed up with an arrow, a Starstorm, everything. Faker wants to throw out a meatball. They're just playing with this poor Naga Siren, who just cannot find the entry here.
He is semi-backed up, and they haven't quite taken their racks yet. That's one of the things their lineup's not good at, hitting buildings.
There's the Haunt, the jump forward on Alone. They just want to rip him out, and there it is. Song into the egg combo. Did they get the timings right, though, is the question?
Yes.
Just barely. So it looks like Faker is going to try to run away. He should be able to survive this. Alone, though, not looking as lucky as he goes down. Kara goes down. Rises is trying to climb his way into this fountain. He just can't seem to do it fast enough as he falls next. Sunstrike over on the side. Not going to be able to quiet land over on Titano, but Infamous, they mean business. They're hungry. They want to keep going here and stay in this upper bracket for the qualifiers. The GG gets dropped.
I mean, a very incredible play by Infamous. I mean, the laning stage looked a little bit rough, but that's what happens when you play against these like type A heroes. The Nature's Prophet can just show up to your lane and just create so much more raw HP and damage to tank that he just slaps your buildings down. And despite being a little bit behind in net worth, they didn't falter. They took correct fights. Obviously, a lot of that was punishing the poor initiations that EgoBoys went for on the mid lane, but ultimately they played well, and everything after that was flawless. Murano played flawlessly to even keep them in the game in a comfortable place. So everybody played really, really solid on
Yeah, I mean, Mariano had a perfect game, 12-0 and 19 over there, 5-1 and 29 over for Michael as well. Like it was looking really, really nice here for Infamous. They played it nicely. And Drakil, it started off looking very nicely in that top lane, right? You saw him putting a lot of pressure down, trying to just harass the Spectre, and Spectre was forced out. But eventually, if you give Spectre time, she's gonna bounce back. And while Naga had, top net worth for a while, unfortunately, the rest of the team on Infamous just started to outscale the rest of the team on EgoBoys.
Yeah, they did. They just gave him too much space, basically. They didn't let Ego Boys do this nice combo. We saw the first successful egg sleep combo right as the game was ending. So don't give him those opportunities. And again, I can't help but think that Tano just missed way too many stuns on laning stage. Despite Drakil's nice harassment at the beginning, Lina just missed a lot of opportunities, either not being in position quite or missing stuns. And as a result, Axe doesn't snowball, doesn't shut down Spectre, doesn't reduce Spectre's farm. It all catapults into where the mid game where Eagle Boys does worse with a little bit of poor coordination, and then it just never really felt like they got to fully come online because Infamous didn't let them.
Yeah, imagine how differently that whole game would have gone if they had been landing every single one of those stuns. But unfortunately, our EgoBoys, they are going to lose game number 1, but they have a chance to bounce back. So we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll have game number 2.